Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! I, 27 female, not close to my sister-in-law, 26 female. We are not at each other's throats or anything, but she just seems to be slacking off sometimes. I've tried to help her out a bit and talk to her, but she never wanted to hear it. Sister-in-law recently got a new entry-level job that she will be relocating for. We celebrated Thanksgiving with my husband's 29 male family this year, and it was a massive get-together. A lot of people congratulated sister-in-law on her new job, which is understandable. However, my in-laws were acting like they had won $1 billion. Some relatives kept asking about sister-in-law's new job, when she'll be moving and so on. I tried to change the topic, but my sister-in-law got kinda pissed and said something like, "You don't have to be a part of this conversation." I replied that we're all proud of her. Maybe people want to talk about other things sometimes too. Sister-in-law again got very snarky and said, "Again, leave the conversation." I'll admit, I got annoyed at that point and said, coming from the woman who's milking compliments for something most people achieve by the age of 16. My sister-in-law got really mad and said that I have no position saying that. There were a few people around that started going off at me. I eventually walked off and told my husband that I was leaving. He didn't know what was going on at that point, but in the heat of the moment, I just took the car and left. A cousin ended up dropping him off at home. My sister-in-law is obviously pissed at me and my husband heard the whole thing. He said I created the scene for no reason and should apologize to my sister-in-law. Even though people started going off at me, I shared this with my mom and she said I wasn't wrong. And people are cuddling sister-in-law. I get that I might have overreacted a bit, but I think it was justified. Am I in the wrong here? And now for some comments. You are in the wrong, and you sound bitter or jealous. Do you think you're not a jerk for inserting yourself into a conversation and trying to change the subject when no one else wanted to? For that alone, you are in the wrong. You were part of a conversation others were having, and knowing that they wouldn't change it for you, insulted someone who has a life achievement and degraded their worth. How could you possibly think you wouldn't be the jerk? You are in the wrong with bills on. My roommate lost his key months ago and still hasn't gotten it replaced. I have been bugging him about it and keep asking him, and he has just continually refused to handle it. He said he would text the landlord when I asked him to, as I feel that that's probably the right way to go about it, and then he didn't. When I asked him about it in person, he said he was going to try to go get our other roommate to get him a copy, but that other roommate is away for a while, so how is that going to work? I should have just confronted him then and there about why he's avoiding telling the landlord, and that reiterated that I think he should just tell the landlord. But I said fine, and that if he finds that the other roommates can't copy his key for him, definitely will be the case since he's away until January, then he can use my key to copy. But I regret that, because making a key behind the landlord's back feels sketchy, so I just don't want to do it. I don't really know my roommate, we barely see each other and never talk or hang out, even though we have lived together for 2 or 3 years. I'm just worried about some sort of bad consequences as a result of giving him a copy of my key without telling the landlord first. Although he said it's definitely in the apartment, he just can't find it. It is out there somewhere. Or maybe he actually has his key and is tricking me into giving him another one without having to copy a key himself. Why would he do that? I don't know. But the whole way he has avoided getting a key for so many months has been so bizarre that I have just lost any sort of trust in him. I actually made a copy of my key because mentally I can't take this anymore of him always needing the door unlocked. I don't feel safe anymore, but I wish I didn't make that copy, because now I realize that I don't want to give it to him. I just want it to be handled. However, the landlord wants to handle it. I don't know what to do. I want the landlord to know about it, but I don't want to cause some sort of big fight with this person I'm living with, or I have to tell on him and he gets angry at me for that and tries to get back at me or something. I wish he could just be a responsible adult and handle it himself. I suspect one explanation though, for not wanting to tell the landlord, and it's that the landlord may want to change the locks and it will be at the roommate's expense, and so it will be much easier and cheaper in his eyes if one of us other roommates could just give him a copy of our key. We also have a house where there are several doors where the same key is used, so all of them would probably have to be changed. I am planning on asking him what his reason is next time I see him, why he doesn't want to tell the landlord. But I can't take this much longer, so if he says he refused to tell the landlord, then I'm considering just telling him myself. Am I in the wrong for wanting to insist that he tells the landlord and not wanting to copy my own key without permission? And now for some comments. I don't get it. Just make a damn copy and be done with it. Why overcomplicate a very simple situation? And as a landlord myself, don't bother me with trivial nonsense like that. If someone loses something of mine, I expect it to be replaced. I don't give a flying care about the details. The answer is so obvious that I'm skipping judgment. Text the landlord yourself now that the problem is affecting you. A simple, hey, roomie lost her key and asked me to get a copy of my key made for them. Just wanted to let you know. There. Problem solved. Goodness. I think you really thought about this way too much. Hey, slight, you're in the wrong here. People lose their keys sometimes. The key is gone and has been gone for months. So, and you've almost certainly recognized the reason why roommate doesn't want to go to the landlord. Changing all the locks is going to be more expensive than just getting a copy from one of you. The reason that it's a slight you the jerk is because you agreed to letting him have a copy, and now you're turning this into some kind of a big thing. The key was lost months ago. So what is the exact concern that you have at this point? That someone has a key and is lurking? Waiting for the right moment? Yeah, this just seems petty to me. I, 39 female, and my husband, 34 male, have been married for approximately 2 years. My mother-in-law lives with us. A little backstory. She moved in with him while he was still married to his ex-wife after losing her previous job. At first, she and I got along really well. We would sit and talk regularly. The two of us would trade off on making dinner. Household chores were shared by everyone in the home. My bonus babies, 3 between 8 and 14, are with us every other week. Due to how much she helped my husband when he was single, when we got together I wanted to ensure that she was able to have that real grandma relationship, which she was very happy about. Now, however, that ship has sailed. She hasn't made dinner in our home in months, which makes me dread coming home to an adult asking me what's for dinner less than 5 minutes after walking in the door. The only thing I've seen her clean is her own laundry, while she proceeds to leave messes all over the house. She locks her door when she's home and only comes out when I've completed dinner with the table set or to use a restroom. Tonight was the final straw for me. I have a very close relationship with my bonus kids, and I'm usually the one they come to when something is worrying them to see how to handle it. They are growing up and one felt uncomfortable with her bottom being patted on. I mentioned this, in which she immediately got offensive, claiming it wasn't her, even though I've known that she's done it. Should have been very easy, but I wasn't about to fight, so I just dropped it. Another family member came over and the child went to say hi and give them hugs. My mother-in-law made it a point to do that. As soon as she could, she ran to her room upset about being embarrassed. It is one thing if she's going to be rude and obnoxious with me, but I'm tired of the kids getting upset over things that my mother-in-law had either said or done to them just because she's an adult with the title of their grandma. I just want a peaceful house where no one has to walk around eggshells or feel scared to say when something bothers them. And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong, but you might want your husband to talk to her about moving out instead of you. You are not in the wrong. But you know that. Your husband has to tell her. Have the two of you talked about this? What are his feelings on it? If he does not make moves to get her out, and does not stand up for you and your marriage, then you will have some big decisions to make. Am I in the wrong? Boasts are full of men who cannot stand up to their harridan moms. I hope very much yours is on your side and able to present a united front with you. I understand that she helped your husband in the past, but her gravy train has gone on way too long, and she's taking advantage now. You are not in the wrong. Is she old though? Is her behavior deteriorating because of ill health or dementia? If that's the case, it would be cold-hearted to have her move out now, just because she's no longer doing chores and because she's embarrassing the children. I am not saying that she should be allowed to stay and overstep your boundaries, but maybe she needs to go to some kind of assisted living. I, 16 male, have a younger brother, 13 male, and we share a mom but have different dads. My parents were married and mom cheated or had an affair and my brother was a result. My dad didn't want to raise my brother or stay married to my mom, which I get. But when my brother's bio father left the country to flee old child support stuff, my mom and her family decided my dad was a piece of trash for not loving my brother for being my brother. Mom over the years has filled my brother with the idea my dad should be his dad too, since we're related, and she's always tried to encourage me to include him in my time with my dad, and has encouraged him to tell me how he feels left out. It has always been awkward. My dad and I talked about it. He has spoken to mom, he has taken her to court over the issues, and he has asked me if I want him to adopt my brother as his own. I always said he didn't have to. I just hate the pressure. My brother and I don't have a great relationship because of everything. I have included him a couple of times if my dad was offering to take me and friends someplace. But my brother tries to bond with my dad and then gets upset when my dad doesn't treat him the same as me. Last time he got mad because dad treated him the same as my friends and corrected him when he said they were family. So my dad took me and some friends to a cool arcade in another city. I didn't invite my brother this time. I didn't even mention it, but I guess dad had to because he was taking me so far and my mom was pissed when I got to her house. My brother was upset and told me that he's being left behind. I told him it's not that, but he needs to understand that he makes things awkward when he chases after my dad. He told me dad should be there for him too and he's just a kid without a dad and how can I not be mad at my dad for excluding him? My mom and her family told me that I should be ashamed of myself for excluding my brother. I argue back that it always ends badly when he is there, and I'm done letting him think he can use that time to get close to my dad because clearly dad doesn't want to raise him, and I was called a bad brother. Am I in the wrong here? And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. You should be ashamed. Your mom should be ashamed. There is a whole lot of blame being directed at you here that should be laid at your mother's feet. Screw that noise. You're not in the wrong. Your mother created an affair baby, and your father is not wrong for refusing to be his father. Your mother is responsible for this mess. She has been emotionally abusing your brother and you for years by trying to force a bio-type relationship between your brother and your father. If your brother has uncles on his father's side, he should try to form relationships with them. Your brother is innocent, but your father does not owe him a relationship. Your mother's actions show that it's in her nature to only care about herself. Your father sounds like a great dad though. OP's mother has destroyed her marriage. Now she's working on destroying the sibling bond between her sons. If she's not careful, she will destroy her younger son by encouraging him to believe her first husband owes him a father-slash-son relationship. No doubt she will be shocked and heartbroken when OP moves out as soon as he can. She can't see she's chasing him away by putting him in the middle of a situation he is in no way responsible for. I, 25 female, have been married for 6 years to my wonderful husband. 26 male, who we can call Carson. For the past 3 years, we have been consistently trying for a child. We have been unable to get pregnant until 6 months ago. Around this time, my sister, 32 female, who we will call Mary, got engaged and asked me to be her maid of honor. Of course, I was delighted and agreed. We started planning some wedding things like her bridal shower, which she wanted to hold on the morning of the baby shower. My best friend was planning for me. My sister is well aware of our troubles conceiving and knew that this baby shower was a big deal to me. However, my best friend is extremely flexible, and I wanted my sister to be at the shower. So we moved the shower to the next day. This past Saturday was supposed to be the wedding shower, and Sunday was supposed to be my baby shower. Unfortunately, Tess and I suffered a stillbirth. Of course, I didn't expect the whole family and bridal party to change their plans, but I did cancel the baby shower and regretfully inform everyone about the stillbirth. Last week, I was pretty upset and depressed. Thus, I asked one of the bridesmaids to complete the finishing touches of the bridal shower, and she agreed. On Friday, I announced the stillbirth and the baby shower being cancelled, and I began to return gifts that quite a few people had already sent who wouldn't be able to make it. Mary called me after she heard about everything and asked that I not return things so that she could have them for her new house as bonus gifts, including things with my son's name on them. I told her no, and that I wouldn't be attending her wedding shower, and now my whole family is turning against me. She said that I ruined her bridal shower, and that I divided the family. I don't think I am. But am I in the wrong for not letting my sister have my baby's things and not returning them? Am I in the wrong for not going to my sister's bridal shower since I was grieving and don't need a dress and judgment? Note: I found out that I was pregnant before her engagement. The baby shower date had been set before the bridal shower date. We changed the baby shower date because I didn't want to ask family and friends for gifts 2 times on the same day, though I know they would have been happy to do so. And now for some comments. You are not in the wrong. Your sister is positively ghoulish though. The mere suggestion that your baby gifts be repurposed for her rather than returned is a level of inappropriate, insensitive, and entitled that is absolutely disgusting. I am sorry for your loss. Please focus on you and your husband's healing at this time, and don't let anyone tell you that the right way to grieve is to entertain your sister's nonsense. You are not in the wrong, and I'm sorry for your loss. What the hell is going on through Mary's mind here? I can't fathom. Those baby gifts are not hers. They are yours. It is very polite of you to return them. I don't think this was strictly necessary because the last concern anyone should have right now is whether they get a refund on their gift for a child who didn't survive. You'd be within your right to put it all in a trunk for a future child, or throw it on a bonfire if that's how you feel. The important thing right now to anyone with a teaspoon of brain cells is supporting you and your husband as bereaved parents. Screw Mary's bridal shower. Thank you for watching and see you next time.